New 72 Radio, the voice, views, and visions of the collective.
We'd like to welcome you to another episode of Talk Time with Debby and Theresa. Today we have some things we'd like to go over. We'd like to remind everybody that we're having a past life regression gallery on Saturday. We're pretty excited about it.
From 10 to noon.
10 to noon at Ancient Mystic Moon, 2435 North Lombard in Portland. And it should actually be a lot of fun. It'll give everyone an opportunity to actually experience a past life regression in a safe, it's in a safe environment. You're surrounded by friends and you don't have to share if you don't want to, but you're also welcome to share if you would, and have tea with us afterwards. And it'll just be fun. It's a lot more fun. Bring a friend, and it's $20 at the door.
All right.
So.
Debby is a very good past life regressionist, and she will be the leader to the session, to the gallery. And as she said, they're a lot of fun. You'll learn different aspects of yourself and how to kind of relate those to your present day life, or reasons as to why your life is kind of like it is. Sometimes you actually even meet people that you know nowadays, but in a different form.
Yeah, that's always fun and enlightening sometimes, and very enlightening sometimes. So anyway, we'd also like to touch on the workshop that we had on the 5th and 6th of November. It was a grief recovery workshop that Ancient Mystic Moon hosted, and it was with Ed Owens. And let me tell you, that was an incredibly enlightening experience.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he gave us some tools to work with and through all kinds of grief.
Yes. Actually, it was unbelievable. I could see how it could be used in just about every aspect of loss.
Yeah, if you've lost a loved one, lost a home,
Lost a job,
lost a pet.
Right.
Anyway, he is an absolutely incredible instructor. He is so caring, and he makes the class fun. But he presents it in a way that you actually remember, what you're supposed to be learning, and actually how to use the tools. So we've decided, since it was so successful and so enjoyable, actually, that we're going to go ahead and offer it again in January.
Right.
And I don't have the date set yet, but
we're working on that. And it is a great experience for you to learn some new tools. And that's one of the things I liked about the class. It wasn't just discussing the issues and discussing the tools. You actually did use the tools, and you did leave with samples so that you can do it again. And one of the exciting things is a group of people that were here are planning to continue our relationship, our friendship that was created during the class,
like a support group,
and be a support group for us. And it's just the neatest way for you to really address grief and loss. Once again, that's loss of anything.
Yeah, it's really an incredible class. So we're, like I said, we're going to go ahead, and we're planning on that in January. So anyway, today we have an incredible guest from Bikram Yoga, Fremont Street. And it's Danelle Denstone. Yeah, and she's the owner. And I guess they started this studio a year ago, the 1st of January. And we're very excited to have her and learn all about her studio and Bikram Yoga in particular. So anyway, where are you, There you are, Danelle. Hi.
Hi, Danelle.
You're muted. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Great. Hello.
Hello. Hi, how are you doing today?
Really, really good. Excited to be here. Thank you. How are you guys?
We're good.
Great.
We're good. And thank you for coming here. Yeah, I think it's really important to share all about Bikram yoga. I know I've heard about it,
Yes.
but I don't know very much about
right?
it. Yeah, I have. But I've heard actually a lot of people that I know have actually tried it and they've liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, how about, would you tell us a little bit about Bikram yoga? Sorry, my mouth is not working very well.
So Bikram yoga. Yeah, so Bikram yoga there's 26 postures. There's 2 breathing exercises, and it's always the same sequence. So it's the same 26 postures that we do every single class. And we heat the room to 105 degrees.
Whoa.
With 40% humidity. And yeah, it's really, really, really amazing.
Excuse me, why did they heat the room that much?
So the idea is that when the body is warm, and your muscles are more supple, and you're able to actually do the postures without them hurting. Because believe it or not, if you do yoga in a cold room, it hurts.
Oh.
So when the room is warm, then you're able to do the postures a little easier. And then also, when you're doing yoga, you're stretching the muscles. And when you stretch the muscles, you're releasing toxins out into the bloodstream. And then where do those toxins go? They're inside. So when you're sweating, that enhances the detoxification process. So it comes out through the sweat. So it kind of speeds up the detoxification process.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And so it feels, when you go through the whole series, start to finish, you work every single muscle, every single organ in the body, every single tendon, and it feels like an amazing massage when you're all done. So, yeah.
Wow, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love it.
I always wondered why why so hot, hot like that.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that is the hardest thing, I think, to get used to. But then once you get used to the heat, then it actually is something that you really miss when it's not hot enough. Believe it or not, we have people that actually put clothes on because they want it hotter. So,
wow. Have you ever had anybody pass out?
It's happened, in the very beginning stages, but we're all, it's just a matter of a few seconds before they come back to, and usually you can catch it before it happens and kind of, okay, let me take care of you. Let me open the door or window for you, and let's get out into the hall or something, So it's rare, but it has happened, just like anything.
So obviously novice yoga practitioners should not be doing this.
Oh yeah, actually it is. It is for beginners, because actually the postures themselves are all beginning postures. So we don't do headstands. We don't do anything that is considered an advanced posture. Everything is a beginner's posture. And then we just have the element of the heat. So yes, absolutely anybody at any level, no matter how sick, how injured, anything, it's for all levels, believe it or not. Yeah, that's what I love about it.
Oh, that's really
We're like, come in your wheelchair, come in with your crutches, we'll make it work. So it's, yeah.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about where Bikram yoga started, or?
Yeah, so it started in India. Bikram's guru, his name is Vishnu Ghosh, has a college that is actually in India. And at the college is where Bikram learned a series of 84 postures. So these are the original 84 postures are taught at this Ghosh college in India. And I'll give you a little history about Bikram's relationship with his guru. His guru was kind of like a doctor in his little village. And people would come to him, and they'd come to him with heart disease, or they would come to him with diabetes, or whatever it was that they were coming to him for. And he would write a prescription of postures. And then he would take those postures and he would give them to Bikram, and Bikram would teach the people how to do the posture. And over time, it got so popular because in India at the time there wasn't a lot of, insurance. So that at the time there were so many people lined up, and they were just seeing people like lined up, more and more and more people, that they said, how can we do something that's going to reach everybody and every ailment? And he was inspired to find a way to touch everybody. And so from the 84 original postures, he pulled 26 of them, beginning ones, so that everybody could do them, and put them in a sequence. And that's how we got Bikram Yoga. And so Bikram's guru is Vishnu Ghosh, and Vishnu Ghosh is the brother of Paramahansa Yogananda, and which Paramahansa Yogananda is the author of Autobiography of a Yogi. And so there's a lot of philosophy threaded within what Bikram Yoga is about, but the actual postures come from the Ghosh college.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really, really amazing for me. I just
that. What era are we talking about? What year did he?
Oh gosh, let's see. So Bikram is, I want to say it was in the 1950s. He was born in the 1950s somewhere around. I don't quote me, but I believe he's in his 70s. I can't remember now. When I went to training, he was 67. That was about 10 years ago. So he's about 77 now. So yeah, that was in the 50s, 1950s.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So, so if I'm understanding it, the Bikram Yoga is, they used it for actually healing.
It is medicine. Yes.
Okay, and how does that work? I mean, how do you use postures for actual healing?
That's a good question, and this is what I actually love about this yoga. Because this yoga, I mean all yoga, any yoga, anytime you're doing a posture, this is what you're doing. It's really about the internal organ. So if you think about disease comes from some kind of organ. You can trail it back to an organ or a gland. And so when you are doing postures physically, what you're doing is you're compressing an organ. Whatever posture you're doing, you're compressing that organ. When you compress that organ and you're like squeezing that organ, at the same time, you're stretching somewhere else. So when you stretch, you're making the veins and the arteries super thin, so blood cannot go through. So what happens? Blood starts building up like a dam right outside the organs. And then when you come out of the posture, that blood that's now super oxygenated from all the breathing that you're doing with yoga, is building a dam right outside this organ, let's just say the pancreas. And when you come out of the posture, that blood, fully oxygenated, which is nutrients for the organ, rushes through the pancreas. And now when it rushes through the pancreas, when the gates have been opened, it takes with it toxins, inflammation, and any debris that's not good for that organ. And so that's how it has a medical, that's why I say it's the medicine, because it's like literally detoxing the organs of the body. The side effect is, yeah, it takes muscles and it takes flexibility. So the side effect is, you know, you get stronger, you lose weight, you tone your muscles, because it takes a certain amount of balance between strength and flexibility to hold the postures, but the real benefit is inside, detoxifying all of the organs. and filling them with nutrients and blood and oxygen, all freshly oxygenated. I hope that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's Theresa and I we work with reflexology, and it's kind of the same thing. You know, we work with the reflex points on the bottom of the feet, and it
addresses the organs.
And it addresses the organs.
Yep.
So I understand that. How is it different from, say, physical exercise? Say, why yoga as opposed to weightlifting?
Yeah, so
or treadmill or whatever.
Yeah, so any other exercise that you do is not going to, it's going to utilize all of your systems in the body a little bit. So it's going to help the respiratory system a little bit. It's going to help the digestive system just a little bit, because everything is flowing and everything is working. But when you do Bikram yoga or any yoga, it's 100% you are utilizing and nourishing all your systems in the body. And it actually gives you energy. Where other forms of exercise take energy away, you actually are gaining energy by doing yoga. And but that one thing that is really different too is you're doing this yoga and giving 100% in the posture, and then you follow it with a savasana, which is stillness. And so it's that balance between 100% in the posture and then 100% balance of stillness. And in that stillness is when all of that benefit you just received of that building up of the blood, that's when it gets to rush through the body and start doing its beautiful magic, is in that stillness.
So how long does each pose take, or each, what do you call them? Stanza?
Asanas. Mm-hmm. So each one is a little different, just depending, but most of them are between 10 and 20 seconds. And then there are a few that are 30 seconds and some even up to a minute, just depending.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, Theresa has recently started
doing something in Vancouver, yes.
Yeah, something a little different. She's certainly not 105 degrees.
But you know what? It's yoga, hatha yoga, and it's all good. You know, it's all good.
Right. Well, I have been enjoying it. It is definitely a nice break. Well, start for the day, actually. It's usually in the morning.
Yeah.
I've been going to.
I think I'm seriously going to think about the Bikram, actually.
I love it.
Well, I've got some hip and joint issues, and I've still got my flexibility.
Yeah, we have a woman in there that just had a hip replacement. She's in there. I'm serious. We just make it work. We have people that just had knee replacements, disc, having their discs replaced in their knees, all kinds of stuff. And we just take it one step at a time, and we find a modification. And like I said, like Gretchen, and I should mention that I have a business partner. Her name's Gretchen, my amazing business partner. And we both believe that, this yoga is, the medicine. So, yeah.
Well, my goal is not to have any hip replacement.
There you go. This is preventative for you.
So, exactly. I mean, they're looking at that in the near future, and my goal is not. And I told them, I said, you know what? I'm going to hold out until you can find some kind of cushion to put on that joint, because you are not cutting off the top of my leg.
Wow.
Because that's what they do when they do a hip replacement, is they cut the top of the bone off, and they put a metal piece down in the bone.
Yeah, it has a metal shaft that goes into the bone.
A metal shaft that goes. That's what a hip replacement is. And so if I can prevent it and have fun while I'm doing it, I mean, why the heck not?
Why not try it for 6 months and see what happens?
Yeah.
Slow and steady, slow and steady, slow and steady.
Why Bikram on Fremont?
Well, oh my gosh. Well, there are so many amazing studios around Portland. We're really, really, really lucky. If we live in Portland, Oregon, or Vancouver close, we have some great studios. I've been around to a lot of different cities, and I just can't really say that about every city that I've been to. But what Gretchen and I like to bring to the yoga is we just really both feel like we want to just create a very supportive, safe place for people to do their healing. And we just hold space for them. And, you know, it's got a long history. It's been there since 1999. And I think that, you know, what Gretchen and I bring to it, I think people feel it. And I think that it makes it really special.
Well, that brings me back to, how did you get started along this?
I got started because I was working in the airlines, which my business partner, Gretchen, she still works in the airline. She's a flight attendant. I started when I was working on the ground for the airlines, and I was just really stressed. So I didn't go into it with any physical injuries, but I definitely had mental, emotional stuff I was working through. And that's what made me seek it out, was just some stress relief, really just kind of finding my way emotionally. And
well, why did you choose the Bikram yoga originally as opposed to the other types of yoga?
Yeah, so I was working with somebody at Southwest, and they had a little card that had 3 classes for $15. And I used that, and I was hooked from the very beginning. And so for me, it really was about the mental, emotional, and stress. What brought me to it.
I think sometimes if you can find your balance with stress and calm, I think that makes a big difference in everything else that you do. Makes a big difference in your health, in your work, in your family life. Stress. Oh yeah, stress is such a major factor when it comes to health and the condition that your body is, because to me, stress is something that you store in your body.
You store in the organs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just causes nothing but trouble.
Right, right. Well, besides the Bikrams, you also are or have Tula Body Works.
Yeah.
Tell us about Tula Body Works.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm also a massage therapist, and I think that just doing yoga, because I've been doing the yoga for 15 years, and I think it just, you know, really, I connected with the body from doing the yoga, and then I started to want to, and I always wanted to help people, so I thought that helping people and thinking about the body, and I really didn't want to be a nurse in the medical field, but I really was, you know, I loved the whole holistic side of things. And so I started in with massage therapy just to kind of get my feet wet and see what that was like. And I just loved it. So I do massage, I do therapeutic massage. I do shiatsu, which is a very light series of techniques that I use while someone is fully clothed, but it follows the same lines as the Chinese medicine acupuncture meridians. And so I got a little basis of studying in Chinese medicine. And then I also do like craniosacral work. I do a lot of energy work. And I do a lot of, I use my essential oils, my Young Living, I love, and I do a lot of sound. So sound is very, very healing. And I use tuning forks and singing bowls and anything that makes sound. It's just lovely.
Right. Actually, I can attest to Danielle. She's unbelievable when it comes to massage. She also does, and you need to tell us a little bit about your raindrop technique that you use. It's a lot different than a lot of people.
It is.
A lot about that raindrop technique. Theresa, when she got back from seeing you, she just raved and raved. You've got to go, you've got to go, you've got to go, you know?
Yeah, it is amazing. It really is, because already, you know, the essential oils, Young Living I use, they're amazing. And I've just seen so many shifts happen in people with them.
Right.
And then I add the planetary tuning forks with them.
What are the planetary tuning forks?
So there are tuning forks that have a vibration, and they're all different, and they're lined up with the vibration of all the different planets. So every planet vibrates at a different frequency. And so each tuning fork, so I have Mars, I have Jupiter, Neptune, and then I put them together in different intervals at different places on the body and on different meridians of the Chinese meridians and different acupuncture points, combined with the amazing power of the Young Living essential oils. It really intensifies the oils. So yeah, it's amazing.
Yes. I've never heard of those before, so that's really interesting.
Unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. And actually, anything that Danelle does with massage is unbelievable.
Oh, thank you.
The energy work, yeah.
She really has helped me in some really difficult spots where I was really seriously hurting.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm glad.
So besides we also kind of going back to breadcrumbs. What is the croutons? And you have croutons there.
Yeah, so we really like to. That is one of the other different things about our studio. But there is the studio in Southeast Portland, which is in Selwood. I know they've had one or two kirtans, I'm not sure. But other than that, I think we're the only other studio that has done the kirtans. And I just really like to bring in different events that lift the vibration, and kirtans are one of them. And because it's the yoga of sound, which is called Nada Yoga. So Nada Yoga is the yoga of sound.
Oh, interesting.
So you're moving, you're sitting. How does a kirtan kind of?
Yeah, how does it work? And what exactly is it? It's the sound, yoga of sound, but what is that?
They're all held a little bit different, just depends on who's leading it. And so a lot of times it's like call and respond, singing chants. So someone will lead it with some music and they'll say a chant, and then the group will say a chant, and that will be done over and over and over and over. And it really lifts and lifts and lifts. And it's singing high vibrational songs and words, and everything has a frequency. And so, you know, even just saying love has that sends out a frequency, the word. And so if you're saying all these very high vibrational words and singing it together, it just really, really, really lifts up the whole vibration. And sound can be associated with the chakras. So each chakra is associated with a different sound. And so when you hone into that sound, you can actually balance your chakras. So we did a little bit of that at our last kirtan. We did all the different tones to balance our chakras. And then the next day in class, I could really feel like everything was so light after that. So.
Oh, that's really cool. So how did you get interested in doing the sound healing and with your energy work? I mean, where did you hear about that, or what made you decide to do that? I find that fascinating.
Yeah, it sort of evolved. I love chanting. I think it started with my own practice of chanting and meditating, because I spent a lot of years just chanting, and it just really opens things up and just changes everything. And from there, I started going to kirtans because I was doing the chanting myself. And then when I found out about kirtans, which was chanting with other people, and then just the way that I felt and the way it just changed everything about how I felt, I really started loving it. And then it just evolved into, I was introduced to the tuning forks from Hiroko. Her name's Hiroko, and she's up in Vancouver. She has a practice up there, And her and I would get together and we would do some trading of our work at times. And she's the one that actually introduced me to the tuning forks, which I was already fascinated by sound. So it just seemed like the next step for me. So.
Well, how do the singing bowls fit into there? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Same thing too, is they all have a tone that relates to the chakras.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the planetary tuning forks, you say they relate to different planets, and then so they too would also relate to the chakras. So you have planets that relate to the chakras, or is that a little different?
I believe so, but in this case, the tuning fork frequency is tuned to the same vibration that the planet is tuned to. And then there are other tuning forks you can get that are tuned to chakras. I just don't use those ones with my technique. I use the planetary ones, but there are tuning forks that are. Mm-hmm.
And what does the treatment typically look like if you were going to do a treatment on somebody? I don't know. Say someone came in and their back was all out of kilter. What would a typical session look like for you?
So it would start with using the essential oils to bring them into balance, in the neck or in the shoulders and in the feet. Very similar to the raindrop technique. You start out the same. It's actually the raindrop technique with a layer of the tuning fork within it. And then it's laying on oils on the feet, and then using simultaneously, after putting the oils on, tuning forks on the feet, following meridians on the feet, and then turning the person over and doing it on their back, doing the oils up the back, and then laying the tuning forks again in intervals. So I would choose different tuning forks at different places on the body, and you place them, for instance, at the sacrum and at the occiput, so at the bottom of the spine and the top of the spine. Sometimes I do it all along the spine, sometimes just on muscle, in different areas, and then some of them are in the aura as well.
Well,
so not all of them go on the body. Some of them actually work within the aura too.
So you wouldn't actually even be touching the body with them because they would be out here in the energy field.
Well, some of them you do. Some of them actually do go on the body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You feel it. I mean, you feel it goes, you can feel it all along the body.
Yeah. And so all that would depend on what exactly you were trying to help them with, what their injury or what their health issue was.
There's a basic line, and then you can, kind of tailor that to what people are working on.
Mm-hmm.
But even if they were working on nothing, I could still do the basic series and sequence. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And how then do the singing bowls work in there?
That is just intuitive. That's just my own thing, and how I feel using them intuitively based on what they tell me they're working on, and usually starting a session or ending a session with them, but going for a prolonged amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I really love the frequency of 530. Is it 532? 532 is the frequency of love.
Yeah.
And it's the DNA, it repairs DNA. They've done studies to show, they've done studies to show that it can actually change DNA. There's been a lot of studies, and they also did a study on when the oil spills happened, and then all the animals in the water, all the life, they took that frequency and exposed the animals underwater for, I think, up to 4 hours, and it started to get their rhythms back into.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a really powerful frequency. I use that one a lot. And that's, again, it's 532 if you ever wanted to look it up. But it is known as the frequency of love. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. How cool is that? Yeah. That is so cool.
But like I said, I've experienced Danelle as Tula Body Works and her croutons too at Bikram's.
You've
So
been
do you have anything else going on in Bikrams, like moon ceremonies or?
Yeah, we are thinking, and this is just kind of stirring around a little bit in our heads, Gretchen and I, and another one of our students who leads ceremonies a lot. She does a lot of really amazing work. And we're kind of stirring this idea around because we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary. And it's just been such a powerful year, you know, the closing out of so much, 2016, and final year of so many things. And we were talking about starting like a new moon council and doing like a 12-month period, like with a threshold in the beginning, a threshold in the end, and then little small new moons in between, but culminating in the whole year. So there's something kind of stirring. I don't know exactly how it's going to work out yet, but doing, and then also doing a class with candlelight for the new moon class, because, you know, thinking of the new moon and the light from the moon. So maybe turning the lights down low, lighting candles or something. So things are kind of in the works for that.
So would that be for manifestation or just for sending out healing, or is there a specific purpose that you, or direction that you were thinking?
I think setting the intention for the whole year is, it's definitely going to be setting intentions, but doing it as a whole year and then doing little each month one and then supporting each other and maybe putting all the intentions in a place together, making notes. You know, this is one of the ideas from the girl that had led some of these, and of course I'm just going, yes, that sounds amazing, I want to do that, yes, yes, yes. So yeah, we're kind of working on that, but not sure exactly how it'll go just yet.
Okay, well that sounds really awesome. Anybody who wants to check out Danelle should go to, where is it? Bikram Yoga, Fremont Street. .com.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're in Portland.
In Portland, Oregon. Now, don't you still do massage and work in Vancouver as well, or?
Yes, I do. I'm in downtown Vancouver.
Right. So, and that's listed on your website as well?
Yeah, so on my website, if you go to a page on my website, there's a page all about my massage is there.
I got a question though. I really have to ask this. You have a little boy?
Yes.
Yes. And how does he fit into this?
Oh my gosh. Well, and Gretchen has a little boy too, which is so amazing. They're like little buddies, but they love it. You know, he comes to the studio and he helps me. He checks people in. He helps me clean the mat. He sprays the mirrors and he does his little thing. And what's amazing is when I was pregnant with him, I practiced there. So people knew me while they saw me, you know, grow. And then when I had him, they had all met him. And then my life took me away from that studio because that was my original studio. My life took me away from it for a little while. And then now I come back and there's still that community is still there. And so they all remember, you know, they're like, oh my gosh, I remember when you were just a little baby in Danelle's belly. And so, yeah, so he loves it.
Do you have a setup for kids to learn basics in yoga and in the yoga as well, or classes?
Not yet, but I would really love to see that. I've done a little bit of that at my other studio and kind of on my own with kids, but nothing at our studio just yet. But possibly.
I think that's interesting. I've heard of we have a friend who is starting to do Reiki for children, and a little class with them over at oh my goodness,
I'm not certain.
Yeah, which anyway, so she hasn't set it up entirely. I've been kind of encouraging her to move forward with it because she is so good with kids. And I just think that's the perfect place to start them, you know, and let them get a taste and let them be themselves and be, you know, and bring forth, you know, things that they already have and they already know.
Right.
So anyway, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yes.
You had mentioned, kind of bringing us back to Bikram's, you had mentioned the year you were going to be there a full year. Are you planning anything?
Yeah, I know. I can't even believe it. So that studio traditionally has done a New Year's Day class to the Pink Floyd album.
Wow.
It's powerful. It's really powerful. The music is really it's it's deep, and so and then it's led silently, and they're usually really big classes. We've had up to 60 people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so we'll definitely do that. But I do want to do something special as well. And Gretchen and I haven't quite figured out what exactly yet, but for sure the Pink Floyd class.
The Pink Floyd class.
We might have to do 2 this year though. I don't know, because we'll see.
That would be, well, if you fill up and there's tons of people, you just have to do 2. That would be awful.
Just say, hang out for a little while. We'll do another one. That would be awful.
Wouldn't that be horrible? My goodness, what a way to start the new year out. Oh, well.
I love it.
It is what it is. Oh, I love it.
Do you have anything else planned for 2017 going forward?
Wow. Not really. Just more of what I'm doing, but just maybe I would like to practice a little more, because this first year was a lot. And now that I feel like things are settled, I can get my practice going a little more. No, I think just more of the same.
Well, that's good.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to coming and seeing you. And at some point, I am going to go and try. I'm thinking maybe, well, I don't think I can get Tim in there, but
You never know. I'm serious. When you go there, you'll see all levels, everybody. It's not just, what you think of like, oh, well, she can do every single posture. That's not how it is. And that's what I love about it. It's everybody is in there, from young to old to very athletic to never done anything. So you never know.
As I'm recalling, we took a class with you in runes with Jeremy White. Yeah, and you did some rune stanzas.
Yes.
How is that going?
That's really powerful. Those are really powerful. They're not challenging postures like they are in Bikram yoga, even though they're still beginner postures in Bikram yoga. They're still challenging. The rune postures are definitely more energetic and can really put you in a trance, really. And then I chant the name of the rune as well when I'm in the stance.
Mm-hmm. I know that you do rune readings. So how do you use the stanzas? Do you use them with people? Do you use them in your own with your own practice when you're meditating or you're doing runes or I've
never done them with people, but I know that I've talked about it and, swirled the idea around in my head how I could do that. I haven't done that yet, but when I do it, it's like a meditation.
I see. And you go through all 24 of the runes?
Mm-hmm. And chant the name, and that I think is really important too. I mean, even though being in the posture, it is powerful and you feel the energy of them, but there is something to chanting it along with being in that posture as well. It's really, really amazing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember when we first saw the list, because you had actually drawn them out. I don't know if you did it or Jeremy did it with stick people.
Jeremy did that. Kelly and I did do them on some pictures, so she might still have some of them. And but I mean, I don't know, maybe we'll get a group together and just play and do it, and just maybe I could lead it or something. But I feel like something's coming with that. I'm not sure what it will be.
I kind of felt the same thing, and I think that's probably what inspired us, other than we think you're awesome, to join us today. I have really been curious about the Bikram yoga for some time, because I knew that it was different than regular yoga, and I just did not understand what the difference, why the heat, and how it exactly worked. So after talking with you about it and having you actually explain it so that I could understand it, I think that
it'd be worth a try.
I think it sounds like, it sounds like something I've got to try. Yeah.
I'll take really good care of you. I'll make sure that you get through it, and getting used to the heat, and and some people, I've even done like little private classes just to get them used to the sequence and take that little extra thing away from them, just to familiarize just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I've done that a lot with people. So I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
I suppose it would be like anything new. You have fear of the unknown. And my biggest thing isn't as much the stances, I don't think, as the heat.
I understand. Yep.
That was a little scary for me, because I'm warm basically anyway.
Yep.
So
and then in a year you'll be like, you know what? I can't do it without the heat. It's true.
Do you have to have things warmer outside of the yoga studio, since you're kind of used to the temperature in there now?
No, but I definitely am more regulated. What I mean by that is, like, summer doesn't kill me as much.
Oh, interesting.
Because I'm already really, my body can find its homeostasis rather quickly.
Oh, interesting.
How about the winter when it's so cold?
The winter, I crave that hot room. I do.
Yeah, it might be kind of a good thing for me, actually. I had heat stroke years ago, and I was down and out for 3 days. I do mean down and out. And just the last 5 years, I'm able to take the heat again. But I'm telling you, it's not long before I could do heat.
So. And we can talk about that too, and how to prepare yourself for that.
Water. I see water in my future.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, Danelle, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
I really appreciate it. And like I said, if you send out the radio link to people, then they can see that you are at Bikram Yoga, Fremont Street in Portland.
Okay. Sounds good.
Looking forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, you guys too. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that was cool.
Oh, I'm definitely going to have to try that. Yeah. Well, the way she explained it, it actually makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
About stretching the muscles and making it easier.
I know. I've enjoyed the more basic yoga that I'm doing. I can see it too. Yoga is just such a fantastic way to change your body.
Yeah, I've really been looking for something too, and she's close. I mean, she's handy. She's right over on Fremont Street, so it's pretty easy to find her. So anyway, what have we got next on the list, Theresa?
Next on the list, well, we kind of have a combination of a couple things. And we've been talking about 2017, what the radio show is going to look like. And Debbie has come up with a really clever idea, and we're working on it together. We're calling it 50 is Not the End.
Yeah, 50 is not the end.
And you want to explain kind of your envisionment?
Well, here's kind of how it came to me. We have been blessed to be surrounded with some absolutely incredible women. through our healing, through the classes that we've been able to take, through having sessions. And the community that I'm talking about are the women who are 50 and over and have actually had to start over. You know, you get to a certain age and you start to wonder, you know, I'm not young anymore. What am I going to do if I lose my job, or if something happens to my spouse, or I get a divorce, or I lose my, you know, any of these things. The kids are grown. You know, sometimes you're maybe put in a position where you have to care for an elderly family member, and you lose them, and then what? Right. What does your life look after 50 when everything that you've known is no longer there?
Right. For a lot of women after 50, that is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
You've, you know, the majority of your life has been spent either creating a career and or raising children, either a stay-at-home parent or there again, someone doing a career and children. So by the time most women reach 50, you are A, an empty nester, and B, depending on your career, depending on kind of what the world out there is doing. So you can lose a job just by being 50.
Yeah, and unfortunately that's the case. And you know, you get to the high end, you know, but there's a lot of women who are just flat tired of what they've been doing.
Right, it's time for change, a new era.
A new era, yeah. And with all of the energy patterns and everything, the way that it's going, I mean, it's a new awakening for a lot of people.
Right.
You know, you by 50, you've experienced a lot.
Right.
And I don't think, you know, in some ways, I don't think society values you at that age.
No.
And, you know.
Well, here in the United States, we're not. Those over 50 are not valued as they are in other areas. And so a lot of times there again, too, you're 50, you've reached some changes in your life, and you're ready to go out and do something new and inventive. And so we want to kind of show women in that age group that there is a possibility of success.
Everyone has a story.
Right. And that story really leads you down a path that's different than what you started out when you were 20.
Yeah. This is actually, we're working on an empowerment segment.
For women
over 50. So we're very excited about doing it. We've got some women lined up that we would like to have on the show, and we'd like to interview them and put their story out there and let them share, you know, their experiences and their story, so that other people can say, oh, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it.
Right. And perhaps we can establish a meetup once a month or once every few months, where groups of women in that age bracket can gather, and we can just kind of network and talk and
share ideas and support each other.
There again, share the stories, because a lot of times just hearing the story is a big help.
And empowering in so many ways.
Yes.
So many ways.
So that is one of the things we're looking forward to in 2017, and with our radio show, is to make that empowerment visible, to make these lives, these changes visible. And as Debbie said, we have quite a few ladies on our list.
Absolutely incredible women, brave women, and strong women.
Right.
They, believe me, turning 50 is not for sissies.
Nope, it's not. I like that.
It's true. It's just not. You know, it's
right. It's not sitting and knitting, and it's not watching TV. And
I don't even think I own a rocking chair.
There are probably a lot of ladies out there that do those things, but the reality is that most women in their 50s are up and moving and doing
Well,
things.
heck, if you like doing it, I think that's great. I
Right,
think that if you like knitting and doing crafts and, doing stuff, I think that's awesome.
And that can be empowering in the sense that it will give you a motive to do, to get up, do an entrepreneurial business.
Yeah.
As we move forward and the world is so changing with the way things are being done, who knows where it's going to lead us.
Yeah, I got this little brainstorm when I went into, what was it? It was Best Buys. My husband had bought me a Surface 3. And for some way or another, I have misplaced the cord that you plug into the wall, So I misplaced that. And so I thought, okay, I hadn't even had it a year. And I went down to Best Buy because that's where they had them to buy myself a new cord. Anyway, I get in there, and first of all, they don't know what I'm talking about. And so finally, some young man comes running over, and he asked me, did I want this cord for blah, blah, blah. And he says he would help me. So I followed him over to his little cubicle, and we started looking, and he says, we don't have any of those here. We don't carry them. And I just kind of looked at him. I says, are you telling me that in less than a year I'm obsolete? I'm already obsolete? And he kind of looks down and he kind of sniggered to himself and he says, well, yes. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not going to be obsolete. It's as simple as that. I went out there and I was just dumbfounded. I managed to find a cord. I had to go to hell and back to find it, but I found one.
So we have been tossing around this idea for a while, and the other day we did sit and make some lists.
I know a lot of other women who are not going to be obsolete either.
Right. Obsolete.
Crazy.
So somebody's going to have to keep moving forward here.
Sorry.
Then the other thing on our list is what's coming up in December. We've had some interesting ideas for the December radio show. We're going to do a presentation on runes.
Oh, yes. That's going to be so much fun. We're going to keep it lighter than being obsolete. We're not going to be obsolete until January.
We're going to talk about runes, kind of how they're used. And what we'd really love to do is have people call in with an intention or a question that we can
do reads on
right over the radio show. In fact, we had even thought that maybe we could take some that were just, written private message to us. We'll keep your name a secret, and we'll just put the intention out there and see what we get. It could be a lot of fun. And then we'll probably do other things too, since that's kind of a short maybe. But
I don't know. You can, some of these answers when you're reading them can get a little lengthy.
Right.
I suppose it depends on how many we get to do.
Right.
So hopefully it'll be quite a few.
Yeah.
So
we're really looking forward to December's. And remember, is that going to be close to Christmas? Thursday.
I don't know, but we might adjust it.
We might have to adjust it. I'm not. Yeah,
the first one.
I'm not certain which, but we will keep you posted on that.
On the date, yeah.
On the date.
Yeah, it'll be posted on Ancient Mystic Moon website.
Right.
So as upcoming events, or I can put it on Facebook as upcoming events as well, and post the link when Kelly gives it to me. Yeah.
Something else that we've been talking about is Tenderfoot Tuesday. We're thinking that perhaps we will change it up a little bit starting in 2017, January, where we have a modality that's kind of on special for a month. And then that one will either be half price or
the sampling on the Tenderfoot Tuesday for the $20.
Would be that, and then the rest, if you want another service, would be by appointment. So it was kind of our way to kind of open up the box and do a little more than just reflexology, or different forms of reflexology, because we do have the ear bead reflexology, and we do have hands and of course the feet. And then it would be fun to do some chakra work, I think.
I love to do chakra work.
And that's why we thought we might change up Tenderfoot Tuesday to have a different modality each month.
Yeah, so keep checking with the website, and I'm getting it. I'm working the calendar. I'm learning it thanks to Kelly. I couldn't do anything without Kelly. Kelly rocks.
Yeah, Kelly rocks. And then we're also looking at establishing an Ancient Mystic Moon meetup group.
Yeah, that'll be something else we're looking at.
We're looking at that for 2017 also. We really haven't kind of scoped out what we're doing, but it is something for 2017. So we're kind of ourselves looking forward to.
If anybody has any ideas or suggestions, please feel free to let us know. Contact us and let us know.
Yes.
So anyway, so again, don't forget the Past Life Regression Gallery on the 19th, which is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon. Come, have a cup of tea with us, visit, and experience the past life regression.
They're a lot of fun. It is totally safe. You're not going to do anything because it's hypnosis is involved, but you're not going to do anything that you would not normally do. It's a great learning experience. I just love them.
So, and with that, I guess we'll say good night.
Good night.
And we'll see you next month.
We'll see you next month.
Thank you. Have a good one.